Hey guys, Eric Buckholz with MarketingProLeader.com. Hey, I just want to get out here today and show you something that I've been working on that I wanted to show you how I do my blog. Now, a lot of people come to me and say, "Hey, I'm doing really bad about creating my own content. They don't know how to create it. They don't know how to find it. They don't know how to curate content. In fact, so for me, I like to curate a lot of my own a lot of content because creating content takes so much time and it takes so much practice, and there's so many people that are out there that have done it for so long. They've got such great content out there that's already existing. You can utilize their content. You can curate the content from another source as long as you give credit to the original source. So I like to curate my own content, and for me it works, and I like to pretty much piggyback off of other people's content because it's great content. You can only create so much content before that subject's already been done before. And most anything out there, I don't think there's an original thought out there basically anymore. There might be a few here or there, but everybody expounds on everybody else's experiences and everybody else's knowledge. So there's not really an original piece of content anymore. It's all been done. So I like to curate my content. So today I'm going to show you how you can curate a piece of content in about 5 minutes. And it's going to take us a little longer because I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to verbally talk you through some things. But after you get good at this and you've practiced this enough times, and I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blog posts, after you've done it enough, you can pretty much do a whole week's worth of content in about 20 minutes. And you can set yourself up for the whole next week. 5 blog posts, lickety-split, doesn't take very much time. So I'm going to walk you through this today, how I curate my content, and go from there. So I'm using WordPress. That's what I use to have my blog. That's what I find works really great, and I think that's a pretty much universal standard. Most people are blogging are using WordPress one way or shape or the other, so it's pretty much a universal platform now. So we're going to go ahead and curate some content today. So once you find, let me get out of here and let me get to the right page. Okay, so once you find your content, say for instance you wanted to do a piece of content here. Let's go over here and let's find a good piece here. Let's do this one right here. 4 steps to maximize productivity and resourcefulness when dealing with financial stress and worry. Well, that looks like a good piece of content. So let me go ahead and get into this piece of content here and see if it's what I want. It talks about bring yourself to a state of calm. Ask for help in a clear, concise way. Yeah, this is a pretty good piece of content. I think a lot of people can get benefit from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new blog post. So I'm going to cut and paste this title here real quick. Control C on my Windows unit, my PC. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create a new blog post. And that basically takes a second to load. We're going to come up here to the title line and I'm going to paste in the title that I just copied from the blog post. I'm also going to come down here. Now, I use Yoast SEO, so that helps with search engine for rankability, for likability, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to go ahead and do it in three places. I'm going to put that title. I'm going to put it up here in the main title. And I'm also going to come down here and I'm going to put it as the focus keyword because that should always match. And I'm also going to edit my snippet for my Yoast SEO, and I'm going to put it in here while I'm here under the meta description. So that way I have it, okay? Then I'll come up here and I'm going to save my draft. And that gets that draft saved and started. I'm going to come back here to my blog post and I'm going to curate. I'm going to go ahead and use their existing banner. That's the easiest way of doing it. I'm going to right click. I'm going to save the image. I'm going to bring it over here to where I save all my images. And I'm going to go ahead and save that the same title name as my blog post, okay? And now I've got that saved on my computer right here, okay? So it's saved, okay? So now I'm going to come back to my blog post here and I'm going to come down here to my featured image. And I'm going to set the featured image. And that basically is going to upload files. I'm going to pull and drop and drag this banner that I just saved into my featured media library, okay? Now, I've got the title already here because that's how I saved the original file, the actual picture. I saved it with the title of the blog post. And you want the alt text and you want the description to match. So I'm also going to put it in these 2 fields as well. So now I've got it as a title. The blog post is the alternate text, and then the blog post as the description. And I'm going to set featured image. You can see when it loads, it'll come up, and that's now in your blog post, lickety split. Okay? So now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to get all my content, and I'm going to just basically copy the blog post here. I'm going to scroll down to where I need to end it. Oh, there it is right there. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to Control C, copy that, and bring it back over. Now you want to be in the visual tab, which yours should default to that. You don't want to be in the text because that's for the HTML coding. It'll mess it all up. So you want to be in the visual because this is what it's actually going to look like. You're going to highlight it over here in the box, and you're going to Control V and paste it in there. So you've got your blog post now copied in here. Links and images and all. Okay, it's all in there. Okay, so I'm going to save my draft again to make sure I don't lose what I just did. Now, I use a lot of my, this is about, this blog post is going to be about attraction marketing. So I use a lot of the same, I use what they call a summary section. And what I do on that is I use the same one that deals with attraction marketing for all my blog posts. And I'll show you what I mean here. Let me go down here to this one right here. I'll bring this up. This is another existing blog post that I already have done. Scroll down here. I'm going to get my summary section down here, my signature box, my links, my social boxes, and my banner image. And I'm going to copy that over to my new blog post. Because basically, like I said, I use the same one for every category I use. If it's attraction marketing, I'll use it a specific one. If it's Facebook marketing, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to cut and paste it around the end of my blog post here. So there I've got my my summary section set up. I've got the contributing source. This is the important part here, guys. As long as you give credit to the original author here, where someone can click on this link and can go to the original content, you can curate all day long. Nobody cares, nobody minds, it's legal. So you can curate content. Like I said, most people, they don't care where the content comes from because they need to know that what you have, they can consume it and it can help them with their problems, their frustrations, their pains, their desires that they want to achieve. So they don't care where the content comes from as long as you steer them in the right direction. Let them consume the content so they can get a benefit from it. And that's all they basically care about, okay? Plus, it also adds instant credibility and instant authority to you because it now looks like it's your content as well as you're directing them to the original author. You're out there, you're doing it, you know what you're doing, you're directing them to somebody. They instantly give you authority and credibility. So that's a good benefit to have there as well. Okay, so I've got my contributing source set up here already. This is going to post on Monday, so I'm going to set that up for the 18th. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to edit this. I use sub IDs. I don't want to confuse you guys, but this is so when they click on a specific piece of a link or a banner, I've got a tracking ID in here that I know where that specific action came from. If they clicked on this 10 times versus up in my post, they only clicked that once, I'll know that this is where I want to focus my time, my energy on. This is the link where most of my traffic's coming from. So you can optimize your blog post for going down the road in the future, okay? So I've changed that. Okay, so that's pretty much common. Now these links are also set up for me, for my affiliate. The ones I have here are the ones I copied, so they're set up to the original author. So I'm going to change these after the fact. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can always just highlight these and then you can edit them and you can change them to your links, to your affiliate links. So that way, if someone clicks on that link, it gets credited to you, it gets toggled to you, and that way you get credit for the sale or for the action. So you definitely want to change these. Any links in the original blog post, any links up here, let me get rid of this one, we don't need that now. Any links in this original blog post up here, you definitely want to change them to go to you, so that way you can get credit, like I said, for anything that happens, okay? So I'll go back and change these two links down here at the bottom later on because I don't want you guys to deal with my stuff, so that's fine. But I just want to show you how to do this real quick, okay? So I've got this all set up now. I'm going to go ahead and save my draft, and I'm going to preview it again, make sure it all looks good, and it should line up. The images should line up accordingly. It should be set up beautifully. We're going to preview this, and we're going to show you how nice it looks already with just a few clicks of the mouse. And here's your piece of content: how to deal with the emotional stress of being an entrepreneur. 4 steps to maximize productivity and resourcefulness when dealing with financial stress and worry. I've got my Shareaholic links in here, so anybody that looks at my blog post can share it on any social media platform. As you can see, you scroll down, and this is a nice looking piece of content. 1, 2, it's got my side images here on here. It's got my sub banner images right here. 1, 2, 3. Number 4. It's a nice looking piece of content, guys. And like I said, these 2 links I will change to my affiliate ID so that way I can get credit for it if they click on it. And you don't need to worry about that right now, but it's there. You just have to highlight that, and then you have to highlight that. Let me show you here real quick. You just basically go over there, and then you can edit that link to say whatever you want it to say. And then you always want to pop it up in a new window. That way you don't lose them off your original piece of content. You always want to click on that little cog. Again, I'll show you that again. You want to come over here. You want to edit. You want to paste in your link. Then you want to come over here to the little settings here, the options. You want to click on that. You want to always click this open link in a new tab. So that way when they click on that, they don't leave your blog post. Because if you don't click that, the browser is going to leave your site. It's going to go over to wherever you're directing them to. And once they leave, they're gone. Chances are they're not going to hit their back button and come back to your blog post. They're going to be gone. So always open it in a new tab. That way the new tab opens up. They can complete the action that they clicked for, opting in, signing up for your email list, taking advantage of the offer, whatever it is. They can click on that. And once they do that, then they can close that window, and then they'll come back to the original blog post, and then they can continue reading, or they can read it again if they choose to. Okay, so that's how I do that. Okay, so now let's talk about a few things on your side banner here. First thing you got up here is you've got your draft section here and your publish section. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up to post on Monday morning. I usually set myself up on Saturday. I do my blog post from Monday through Friday for the following week. And like I said, I can usually knock them out in about 20, 30 minutes at the most. Because once you get good at this and you can do it fast enough and you replicate this, you can get really good at it. So I'll set this up to post on Monday. So I'll come in here and change the date to the 18th. And I always set myself up to post at 7 a.m. And then click on the OK button here. And then I'm going to go ahead and schedule it. And then we're going to go back in. We're going to tweak some things before we do a final update, okay? So now this blog post is scheduled for September 18th at 7 a.m. And that's going to automatically post. And one of the beauty things of that is that it takes the burden off of me to be out there on my computer constantly. And here's what I mean by that. I use a plugin called Next Scripts, and that basically will, once this thing publishes live, it will automatically post it to whatever social media channels and platforms that you choose. So mine always posts to my Facebook, LinkedIn, and my Twitter instantaneously. They don't have a plugin for Instagram yet, but most of the other ones they have. So you can set these up for as many as you want. And this is a free plugin as well, to where it'll post automatically to any of your social media platforms. That way you don't have to sit there and post it in 15 different places. Saves a ton of time, guys. I'm all about saving time. Okay, so we've got that set up to publish, okay? Next, we're going to look at readability and the SEO. Now, these should always be green. Don't know what plugin that you use, if you use one, but I use Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T, Yoast SEO. It's right here, Yoast SEO. And this is a really nice plugin. It's a free plugin again as well. This will optimize your blog post so that the search engines can index it, can crawl it. Their spiders come in, they crawl, they index your site. So that way when someone looks up maybe 4 steps to maximize their productivity, or how to maximize your, whatever they want to type into the search engine, if enough of the search term is corresponding to yours, if it's indexed correctly and your SEO is set up correctly, your link will show up in the search results. And that's what you want. You want to get as much organic traffic as you can from your work, because you don't do this work for free. You don't do it just to be out there doing it. You do it to generate a result, to either create revenue for yourself, to create buzz about your site, your product, your service. But ultimately, we're in business to make money. We all are. We don't do this for free. Nobody does. So if you set your SEO up accordingly and you get it, optimized correctly, the search engines will eventually index you, and then you'll be out there and people will be able to see you for eternity. So you definitely want to get your SEO set up. You definitely want to have an SEO plugin set up for your blog. I use Yoast because it's really simple and it's free. So my readability score here is fantastic. It's already green, so I don't have to worry about that. I've got a yellow, an orange, whatever you want to call it, toggle here. So this tells me that I've got some issues down here, okay? So it says one of them here, which is the main one, is that you have not used your focus keyword in a subheading, such as an H2. So what I'll do to fix that really quickly is I'll come up here and I will copy my title again, the one that I'm using, because that's my title, my keyword. I'm going to Control C, I'm going to paste it into my blog post. And I usually do it just before you get into the meat of your content. So that basically the headline says 4 steps to maximize your productivity. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put it right in here. So I'm going to say, so let's dive in with an ellipsis, and then I'm going to say down here, I'm going to go ahead and Control paste. Let's do this. So let's change this. So let's dive in. Here are, what is that, a colon or semicolon? Colon, okay. So let's dive in. Here are, and then I put 4 steps. There's my keyword phrase, okay? And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to turn this into an H1. That way they've got it, okay? And that way it's set up. So I'm going to update that. And then by doing that, once it loads here, by doing that, I've got it set up right here as you can see it, okay? And that way that leads them into the first step, the first step that they need to accomplish, okay? Then as you can see, come down here, and that item is gone. So now that's turned green. You don't have to worry about that one. Now we've got a couple other things here. Your meta description is under 120 characters long. We can fix that one really easily, and that should fix our SEO problem right here, the orange light. That should fix that once I do this. So what I'll do is I'll find a nice summary to this. I'll find somewhere in the text of the blog post that summarizes what we're trying to relay, what message we're trying to get across to them. So I'm going to use this right here. How do you stay productive in the face of adversity? I'm asking a couple questions, and then I'm going to give them a little, these are the skills that you've got to develop. So I'm going to Control C. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come down here to my focus keyword, to my edit snippet. That's what they're talking about, and they want it in the meta description. So I'm going to paste that. I'm going to take out the spaces, of course. And then, okay, and then you're only allowed a certain number of characters. So I'm going to backspace to take out just what I need here until it turns green. Should be right here in a second. There you go. So that gives a little meta description of our blog post. And as you can see, by doing that, we now have fixed the SEO problems. We have green light on readability and a green light on the SEO. So I'm going to update that. So now we're optimized for the SEO listings, okay? So now your blog post is completely optimized. You can go back down. You can fix all the other things too. And you can make every single light green down here, every single issue. But I don't really worry about that unless I absolutely need to, unless it's something I really want to change. But as long as you've got these set up as green up here, they'll pretty much optimize your stuff. They'll optimize it so that the search engines can find it. Again, the object here is to curate the content and spend as little time as possible doing it. You want to spend most of your time on actually getting the content out to people. You want to make sure that you're getting traffic to your content so that way they can take an action. Your prospect can either sign up, join your team, buy your product. So you don't want to be spending all your time SEOing and creating the content. You want to spend the majority, the bulk of your time on the 20% of your effort should be what makes you 80% of your money. So you wanted the 80-20 rule. So you want to make sure you spend as much as your time on generating revenue and getting traffic to your content, getting people to see you, getting eyeballs on you. So that's why I don't spend a lot of time with the SEO. I just get these lights green. I'm good. I'm set up. I'm ready to go. Next thing you do is you've got categories down here. This is about attraction marketing. So I'm going to highlight the attraction marketing and I'm going to make that my primary category. And I'll also set up some other ones here that apply to this, but I'm not going to go through all that with you because I have to read through the post and make sure I've got the right categories set up. But this is how you do it. You set up your categories here, and then your tags, you want those to match your categories, okay? So I come down here, I find attraction marketing, and then I'm going to click that, and now I've got my tag set up. So all the categories that you check here in this box, you want it to be matching here on your tags, okay? And you might have to hand type these in to get started. I've used all these different tags So that's why they're all stored on my blog. But if you're just starting out, you're not going to have all these. So you might have to hand type all your matching categories in here. You might have to create categories, and you might have to create tags to begin with. But once you get out there and you blog enough and you've got enough content, all this will be populated. You just have to pick the corresponding ones, okay? So that's set up as well. I've got that done. Let me close that up. So now we've talked about the publishing. We've talked about the SEO. We've talked about categories and tags. We've got our featured image set up. We also are using Shareaholic. You saw that on my blog post. I also use tracking codes. I use Bing ads a lot of times. I use Facebook. So I've got pixels and all that stuff installed. I'm not going to go through that with you. That's a separate training, but just make sure that that's all set up on every blog post. That way you're targeted and you're pixelized, and people, you can track your work. That's the biggest thing I want to tell you guys is always track and tweak, track and tweak, track and tweak. That's a tongue twister. You always want to track your efforts, and then you want to be able to tweak them, to optimize them, to improve them so you can get better results. It's all about tracking and tweaking, okay? So I want you to, if you go away with anything from this video, it's tracking and tweaking, okay? So we've got our Bing and our Facebook pixels all set up. They're all highlighted. I use a tracking code plugin by IntelliWP. It's really cool. It's free again. You set those up in one place over here to the side. You set it up one time originally, then they automatically get embedded in every piece of content, every blog post, every page, everything you do on your blog. They automatically go on, so that way you can track anything. Purchases, opt-ins, leads, page visits, page views. You can track who looks at the images, which images they look at. You track everything, guys. So it's a really great tool, okay? So that's it. That's basically it. I'm going to do a final update. We're optimized. We've got all our tags, our categories set up. We've got our image. We've got our tracking set up. So now let's do a preview, and we'll see what she looks like. We'll close out my old one here. We'll reopen this fresh, and we'll show you what she looks like. And that's it. We've got our Shareaholic. We've got our title. Images here, of course. We've got all our Shareaholic buttons so they can share, like I said before. So now you've got your sidebar already set up. That's pretty much consistent with all your efforts. And that's a nice looking piece of content, guys. So they can come to your content, they can read it, they can consume it, they can take action, they can opt into your boot camp or whatever you're offering. I've got several opt-in points. I've got down here. I've also got my social media that they can opt in through there. I've got my inline links, and then I've got my sidebar opt-in set up as well. So I've got all these different opt-in points that they can choose to opt in at, and we can capture that lead and capture that and build our list. Because ultimately it's about building your list and getting as many prospects and customers as you can. So that way you can market to them down the road. You don't have to continually get new people into the funnel. You can always recycle and remarket to your existing list, because that's what it's all about. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you, one more thing I wanted to share with you is that another source for content that's really cool, guys, is that I use what they call BuzzSumo. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not before. It's BuzzSumo, buzzsumo.com. And say, for instance, you want to curate a piece of content. Say, for instance, you like Ray Higdon, and you want to curate some of his stuff. So you would go, or you could do Eric Worre. You go over to rayhigdon.com and you type in here rayhigdon.com. Okay, you type that in here, the most shared, Ray Higdon, most shared, Ray Higdon. I'm going to search. And this is going to pull up all of Ray Higdon's content that he's done for the past year. Okay? And this is going to give you in order the most shares, the total shares. You can also do by Pinterest shares, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can sort by these. Just click on the number above, and you can sort accordingly, ascending, descending, however you want to do it. So, for instance, if you wanted to come to one of his pieces of content here, say, for instance, we like, how much money have you made? Let's go ahead and open this up and see what this content looks like of Ray's. Here we go. That's a nice looking piece of content as well. It's a nice short post. It talks about how to answer that question that people ask you. Well, how much money have you made? And that's if you've been doing this for any length of time, that's one of the first questions that they ask. So he addresses the issue. I love this. So basically, I can come over here again. I can come back to my blog. I can do a new post, okay? And I can go over to Ray's blog post here, copy his title, come back here, and I'm going to go ahead and change that to lowercase. You don't want it all in uppercase. In fact, let me see if I can, here we go. Let's use this one instead. This is the upper and lowercase, so we'll use this one instead. Let's get rid of this one because you don't want this in all caps. Okay, so we've got that. Come down here again, focus keyword. I'm going to show you really quickly how to do this without talking, okay? So you guys just follow along here. I'll show you how fast this can work here. Okay, save my draft. Come back over here. He doesn't really use banner images, so I'm going to
what do you say when someone asks how
I'm going to
much
go
money
ahead
you made in network marketing?
And capture the screen here on him. I'm going to go ahead and make my own banner here, for instance. Again, I'm getting sidetracked here. He would have, he probably doesn't, most places you go to would have an existing banner image, but he doesn't, so we can use his for now just to have something. Okay. All right, so we've got that. Now, like I said, you would, of course, you would find, you know what, let's just use another banner. Let's just use one of these here. We'll use this one here. I like this one. We'll use this one here. Go back here. Oh, go back to my blog post here and get that. Make sure I copy that again. Change the title. So that this also helps for the SEO score as well. Set my featured image. Once it comes up, bam, he's in there. We've got a nice banner. All right, I'm going to rock and roll on this now, guys. If you'll excuse me, I'm just going to show you how fast you can do something like this. We're going to stop right here. And you want it to point to your stuff. You don't want it to basically edify Ray. You want it to edify you. Save my draft so I don't lose it. One thing that's really big, guys, too, is that for readability's sake, I always use one-line sentences. So I always set these up so that after the one line, you'll have these. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I'm having problems reading the screen here, but we'll try and do as best we can. You want to do one-line sentences. One, it helps with the readability aspect, and it also any kind of quotes. I'll always highlight those and set them up with my little quote button up here. My block quote, that'll set that up as a quote. It'll help with the optimization. It'll help with readability because basically, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but most people absorb best when it's at a 5th grade reading level or below. I know that sounds kind of strange, but it's true. The human psyche is designed, and they've done studies on this, is designed to absorb anything at a 5th grade level or below. That's easiest for people to understand and to grasp. So you always want to write as if you're writing to a 5th grade level or below. And there's a tool in Microsoft, like on Word, that you can copy and paste your blog post in there, and you can get a score, and you can see at what level of reading that it's at. So you want to make sure that you're set up for a 5th grade level. And when we do this, we do one lines here. Again, like I said, I would come up with a summary section that I would use again, so that way that would give them a nice summary section, a signature box, a picture of me, blog post, etc., etc. Let's just see how this looks so far, just so you can see how fast I did that and how fast I curated it. Oh, let's go back again. I forgot one thing, the contributing source. We'll put that in here for now. Like I said, you'll do that. Okay, Higdon. I will go ahead and I will make this, I always make this a size 6. That way it's small and people don't see it as much. And then I will go ahead and highlight, Control C. I will go ahead and give him credit right now for him. I will go ahead and insert the link. I will cut and paste. And remember to click on this little settings toggle. And I want to open it in a new tab. So that way, hit the update button. That way, when they open it up to read the original content, they don't leave your blog post, because the object is you want them to stay on your blog post. You want them to stay on your site so they can consume your content, so you're basically edifying yourself, and you're putting yourself out there as the authority figure. So that's it. Blog post basically done, except for categories, tags, and then the SEO, of course. But let's preview it and see how it looks. And there you go. How to answer how much money or how much you've made in network marketing. And this is basically a nice piece of little content. Again, it doesn't have a lot of images. I like to use a lot more images. You want an image every 300 words approximately or so. So you don't want to go your whole blog post without images. You want images to kind of break up the field, because people have got banner blindness and they like to, people are much more apt to view images. They've got sensory perception where they like to see a picture versus read little text on a screen. That's the way people are. So you want to place images throughout your blog posts, either in sub banners. You also have your opt-in links, your in-text links. You've got your banner at the bottom, but just put some images in between. You saw that on ours, how we've got it every 300 words or so. You've got an image here, so it breaks up the monotony of the blog post. People enjoy reading it. It also helps break it up into section with your subheadings, so people can just basically skim, because a lot of people we know have got the attention span of about 8 seconds. Humans do. Goldfish is 9. Go figure that one. So you want to space that up a little bit. You want to break up your text a little bit so people are much more apt to continue reading. So that's it. That's how fast it was. Really simple, really quickly. I've got a nice piece of content. They can share it. I've got a contributing source link, so when they click on it, they go right over to his website and they can see his content. He just got credit for it. Bam, done. Easy, guys, isn't it? So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. This is the fastest way to curate content. Again, you don't have to create content. Good content can be curated. Again, they don't mind where it comes from as long as you give the credit to the original source. Nobody cares. They just want to consume the content, have it benefit them, have it help them, have it solve their problems. That's all they're looking for. So that's all I have for you guys. Reach out to me. You know the blog. You see it on the screen, marketingproleader.com. Reach out to me on social media. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.